Hello and welcome to Field Study, an exploration of food and the landscape. It is obscenely hot today. We're coming into August and we're in the middle of a rather worrying drought, and all the cereal crops have been cut, so as you can see everything around here looks like I'm sitting on a sand dune. So all I can think about at the moment is a nice, refreshing cocktail. So earlier on in the year, in elderflower season, I made some elderflower champagne. And whilst it was absolutely lovely, after about 5 gallons, it starts to get a little bit boring. So what we're going to do is mix that up a little bit and use some foraged ingredients that we find today, and go back and make a tangy, refreshing elderflower and blackberry cocktail. Stay tuned. So the blackberry needs no introduction really. It's one of our most loved and most foraged for hedgerow fruits, and it grows absolutely everywhere. I have to say this is a particularly good year for it. But what we need for this is a mixture between the ripe blackberries and these, the red unripe ones that are just on the verge of turning. So you don't want them if they've got any green or sort of pale on them, but you want them when they're red and just about to turn black, like that. So we want about 50-50 of each of those. So the reason we're going to pick the red ones as well is because I want to use them as a substitute for lemon or citrus fruit in this cocktail. So when they're at that unripe stage, the sugars haven't developed into their full sweetness. So what you're left with is full-on ascorbic acid or vitamin C, which is pretty much the same sensation that you get when you bite into a bit of a lemon. So what we're going to do is mix that with the natural sugars of the ripe blackberries, and I think that should give us a nice sweet and sour sort of tart base to put in our lovely refreshing cold cocktail. Yep, that is super sour. That'll do nicely. Thank you. So there you go. I do believe the cocktail hour is upon us. So I'm going to go back to the shade of Field Study HQ and I will talk you through the recipe. See you then. Who needs a drink? Hello there, so we are back at Field Study HQ and it is time finally to make our cocktail. Very excited for this. It's been a very hot day. So the first thing you're going to want is your cocktail shaker. Now it's absolutely fine if you don't have one of these. You can do this in a Tupperware container, you can do it in a jam jar, you can do it in pretty much anything. It's just, this is theatrical, and you know, it's nice to be able to shake a cocktail shaker, what can I say? So to add to your cocktail shaker, we are first going to want our blackberries. So you want a 50-50 split between the red unripe ones and the ripe ones. So this 50-50 split will just give us a nice balance between the real sourness of the unripe ones and the lovely sugar sweetness of the ripe ones. So we're going to want roughly about a handful of those just in the bottom of the shaker. Perfect. So the next ingredient is simple syrup. So simple syrup is used in many cocktails. So it is half granulated white sugar and half water. So all I did is got one of these espresso cups of granulated white sugar. I put it in a mug, and then I filled this up with hot water from the kettle, and then put that in the mug too, and just swished it until it all dissolved into each other. And then you let it cool down, and that is your basic simple syrup. So basically it's a glucose syrup, it's just used for sweetening. So you just want to put a little dash of that in the bottom of your shaker just to sweeten things up a little bit. Next up is our spirit. So this is gin. It's in a vodka bottle, but it is gin. I steep this with elderflower, so it's a little bit special, but any gin will do basically. So what you want to do is put a measure of this in your shaker as well. So this will just up the alcohol content, but also it will help macerate them berries and get all of the best flavours out of them when you're shaking away. So yeah, just a single measure in there of that gin. So we've got simple syrup, we've got our blackberries, and we've got gin. Next you should pop in a little bit of ice, a few ice cubes, and then pop your top on, and then shake like your life depends on it. Sorry, every cocktail maker on YouTube seems to pull a really, really serious face when they're making cocktails, so I'll just... So as it works its magic, you'll feel the temperature of the outside of the cocktail shaker change. So it will go really, really cold, you'll get condensation, and that's basically, it's cooling down the liquid, everything's cooling down in there, and that is what you want, especially on a hot day like today, nice cool liquid. So the more you shake, the more agitation will break down those berries and release all of them beautiful, tart, tangy juices into the finished cocktail. Excellent. Right, so grab your glass. I've got a lovely champagne flute there, and I've got a strainer, just to strain out all of the bits. And if you just pour, it can take a bit of a while because the liquid needs to get past the pulp. Sometimes if you go back like that and then start pouring again, it loosens it up a little bit. And there you've got it, boozy blackberry. It is tangy and sweet. Amazing. Now to finish it off, we have our lovely elderflower champagne. So this has been chilling for a while just to make it a nice temperature. Woo! Always a joyous moment when it fizzes. So we'll pour that lovely, lightly sparkling champagne into the glass. There we go. Listen to that fizz. So there we go, a beautiful elderflower and blackberry cocktail. If you don't have any elderflower champagne to hand, normal sparkling wine or Prosecco will do perfectly fine. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more foraging videos from this beautiful landscape, please hit the subscribe button. Take care.